So is seeing video like that forcing the families to relive this tragedy all over again? Are the families right not to want any more images of the crime scene released? Joining me now is the attorney for the families, Leander James, and attorney Randy Zelin. Thank you both for being here. Leander, I wanted to ask you, because last time I talked to you, you had just won the emergency injunction. So you initially, I thought, it was going to stop any additional crime scene photos or videos from coming out. This body cam video, which I just showed, they also went into the house. We didn't show that on NewsNation out of respect for the families, but a big chunk of the body camera video was in the house. Were you surprised to see that released after your emergency injunction, Leander?
No, and I'll explain first. Thank you for having me and allowing me to speak on behalf of my clients, and thank you for not showing those images from inside the house. No, the temporary restraining order that the judge entered, at the time it was just Karen Laramie who had filed the action to stop the release of this information. And the judge ruled that the images of the bedrooms, or what we call in the law the death scene images, of Maddie's bedroom would not be released. When the judge ruled in that way, the city then announced that it was not going to release any further images of both bedroom scenes. And so it didn't surprise me that other images were released because they weren't subject to the TRO, temporary restraining order.
Where do you draw the line, Leander, in terms of what is it just the bedrooms? Where do you draw that line?
Well, that's the $1 million question. That's the question the judge is struggling with and will need to answer, and that the city has been struggling with. The line, I think, under the case law in Idaho and elsewhere, I think the line is clearly drawn before releasing any death scene images. I think those should not be released. Again, remember, this is a case that didn't go to trial. It's not as if this information of these photographs or images were put into evidence. They were not, and they're not in the public domain. So I think those clearly are off limits. Now, we think there's other images that should be analyzed objectively, whether they're an unwarranted invasion of personal privacy under Idaho's Freedom of Information Act statute, as well as the common law right to privacy. We have both in Idaho. And we think there are other images, such as the video and audio you just played. Would that witness feel it was an invasion of their privacy to have that thrown out to the world in a case like this? I would argue it is, but I will confess that there's a line there beyond the death scene images. I think are clearly over the line, but where that line is drawn with respect to other images is really an issue, going to be an issue in the case.
What do you think, Randy? I mean, where do you think the line should be?
Well, certainly, Brian, I will answer the question that you put to the world, which is the family right? Emotionally, of course they're right. Morally, of course they're right. Even perhaps ethically they're right. But legally, that's where the obstacle is. And that is because in our system of criminal justice, civil court, criminal court, there is a presumption of transparency. We got away from tyrannical British rule and chancellors of exchequers where everything was done via a star chamber in secret. Our courtrooms are transparent. Anyone can walk into a courtroom and watch what goes on. Anyone in a criminal or a civil case, as long as the file isn't sealed, can go to the clerk's office and get the file. In a federal case, you can simply go online and access documents. So this presumption of transparency makes it difficult for the parents now to be able to say legally, these documents that are part of the court record should be kept out of the public view. In addition, anything that the judge considered, whether for purposes of a change of plea or for sentencing, I think would also be considered judicial documents and then therefore fair game, because the public has a right to have confidence in the judges and the prosecutors. Let us see what you did, what you relied on as far as your decision-making process is concerned. So I think that is the dilemma legally for the family. Plus, keep in mind, they did want a trial, and in going to trial, all of this would have been put out in the public forum.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.